Markus Ziener is a Helmut Schmidt Fellow at the German Marshall Fund. He joins us live from Washington, D.C. What did you make of the first speech from Chancellor Scholz?
Well, he gave a 70-minute speech. It was a long speech. He was actually touching upon everything that's in the coalition treaty. And he was very clear, and we just heard that on Russia. And I think that was a very interesting point because the SPD has somewhat of a soft approach towards Russia. So he had a very, very clear statement on that one. But in fact, when it comes to COVID, this is his main concern. And I think he pointed out that what he wanted. And this comes on the backdrop of quite some severe protest we're seeing, in particular in the eastern parts of Germany, against a mandatory vaccination.
Just to go back to the Russia question, I mean, it looked as though he was trying to sound as though he'll be tougher on Russia. Where do you think this coalition will position itself in the end on Russia?
Well, you have the Green Party being in charge of the foreign ministry, and you have the Social Democrats being in charge of the chancellery. And this really is probably one of the main conflicting lines we are seeing here, because the Greens are very hawkish when it comes to Russia, also on China. And the Social Democrats are, as I said, much softer. Now, we have to see who's actually calling the shots when it comes to foreign policy. Is it going to be the Chancellery, or is it going to be the Foreign Ministry? There are a couple of statements out there which are indicating that...
Oh, we seem to have lost the sound on Markus Ziener. If you can still hear us, we just try and see if we can re-establish the sound with you. We seem to have lost... Oh, and we're frozen. That's not looking great, is it? We'll try and see if we can get Markus Ziener back in a minute and see if we can... Oh, I think we seem to appear to have lost him. We'll thank him for his time for the moment. Ah, we've got him back. Sorry, Markus Ziener, we lost you there, a technical problem for a moment. And you were talking about the stance on Russia. One of the things that's happened now is that they've expelled 2 Russian diplomats over the murder of a Chechen man in Berlin. Do you think that's a kind of one of the early signs that things might be a bit different over Russia?
Yeah, I don't know whether you got that, what I said earlier about this conflicting lines between the Greens and the Social Democrats. I think we are seeing a more hawkish approach from the Green Party here, from Annalena Baerbock, who is our new foreign minister, and we expected a much softer approach from the Social Democrats. Now, given all what's going on, whether it's Ukraine, whether it's now this killing and the sentencing we saw today of the murderer of this Georgian individual who got killed on open daylight in Berlin, it's probably more difficult for the Social Democrats to continue with the soft approach towards Russia, because this is just outrageous. And I think the sentencing of a lifelong imprisonment is very telling.
Do you think Russia will be wanting to exploit those differences that you talked about between the parts of the coalition?
Well, we'll see how they can exploit that. I don't see that at this point. I mean, for Russia, you have to keep in mind, it's, I think, very important to keep the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, to get that into operation. We are probably looking here time-wise into the summer next year. So if this is used as a bargaining chip from the German side to say, well, if you don't behave, if you attack Ukraine, if you do other things we don't like, then we probably will not open the pipeline. If this is the case, then probably the Green approach of being more hawkish on Russia may pay off. We have to see how this is playing out. I mean, the Social Democrats always were in favor of Nord Stream 2. Why? Because Germany is phasing out of coal and of nuclear energy at the same time, and we somehow have to bridge that energy gap.
Markus Ziener, thank you very much indeed for talking to us. Thank you.